My name is Kheisha. I'm the owner of A Way of Lyfe. I've been a career and life coach for 8 years and an astrologer for 3. Our mission is to help people take control of their career future, whether to start a business or retirement, using astrology, strategies, and planning. Our vision is to provide a really clear idea of who you are, what you want, where you're going, and how to get there by making it a way of life.
Peace, 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 family. How's everybody doing today? I am recording this on a Thursday night, September 2nd. So I will not be posting this until Monday, a day before the new moon in Virgo. So if I start talking and it sounds like something else, that's why. Hi, world. I'm Kheisha. I'm the owner of A Way of Lyfe. I am a career and business coach using astrology. Today, we're going to be talking about the new moon in Virgo. And so I have been covering Virgo quite extensively at this point. I have a few posts on my IG. I did a live for the weekly astrology, and I did a live, actually a couple at the beginning of this week on Virgo for September, the month of September. And so now we're really going to focus in on Virgo new moon and how this could look for you, come up for you, what's going on with this energy. But before I jump into that, a few house rule stuff we got to take care of, taking care of business. So you'll notice that you can't see me today. I have my podcast post up. So this is what I'll be doing for the next few posts, just to advertise for the podcast. And you can feel free to follow us on any one of our podcast platforms, which I think is up to about 7 now. But Anchor is the one that I use the most, and the link is in the bio. I will be on again this Saturday on IG to do the weekly astrology, as well as Sunday to do another episode of Ask an Astrologer. We're going to be breaking down the Dr. Boyce Watkins video on this the milk crate challenge, which I found his perspective on this very interesting, which, first and foremost, let me just say I am not following what that is. I mean, I did see some videos on it, but I didn't even know what it was until I watched his video. And once I learned that it was a milk crate challenge, I found it very, very, very interesting to hear the perspective that they've seen it from. And so I'll be breaking that down in reference to astrology, but always, and of course, if you guys have any themes or topics that you would like me to discuss, and or if you have any questions you would like answered, you can email me, and I'll put it up on the screen here so you could see, at info@awayoflyfe.net. And let us know what it is you'd like to hear from us, and we will cover it in the Ask an Astrologer episodes. And I think that's about all that I have for the rest of this week. Next week, I'll start to post the October horoscopes as promised. I'm actually really proud of myself. By Sunday, I will have gotten to Cancer, and I'll stop posting on Monday. And by the time I get to Gemini, Taurus, and Aries, I will already have those way done. So I'm really, really excited to do that. I have decided that I am going to put them on a podcast episode as well as here on YouTube. I will not be posting these on IG just because it's a lot of information, and IG, I feel like, is for more like small videos. Like if you're going to do, I even think sometimes I'm doing the weekly astrology on there, and that's way too long. 20 minutes is too long for IG. I feel like IG is for things like 5 or 6 minutes tops. But I started it on there, so I'm going to keep it on there. So I will be doing the videos here. I'll be posting them just like this on here for each sign. And then, yeah, I think that is really it. This time, that's for real. Those are all the updates that I have. And also, so make sure you're following us for all our updates there on A Way of Lyfe. And I changed the tag there so you can see it. I hope you have it for all your astrological updates. And then always, and of course, we have some new wines, which I have not posted. Shame on me. I'm supposed to be social detoxing, family. I'm not supposed to be online. And it's been a challenge. It's been a struggle. And I'm not doing very well. Today, I was actually really proud of myself. I did very, very good. I didn't go on nearly as much as I had been when I originally announced that I was going to do this. So it's been very interesting. I'm learning a lot about myself. But more than anything, I haven't been posting for my wine Way of Lyfe. And so we do have some new wines. We got a few new wines. I'll be posting those. I'm going to get some pictures together. I think maybe I'll do that Friday for tomorrow. And I'll post them up there so that you can see what we got and try them out. I actually just bought some, so I'll also be doing a opening and obviously posting all my recipes for that throughout the weeks to come. And then obviously it's fall season's coming. Woo woo. I'm really excited about fall season. And we'll be having some fall wines coming out. So I'll be talking more about that as well. So please, family, be sure that you are following us always and forever at A Wine Way of Lyfe. And we are still having our opening until October. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I said October for the open enrollment for our Life Path Astrology class. So for all your information on that, you can check out the website to subscribe. And we look forward to having you. Yeah, man. So without further ado, let's get back to the post here. Without further ado, we are talking about the Virgo new moon. As you can see, I put the process of elimination to old trends. I think we're here. I think people are tired. I think people are over it. And I really, really think that this season is really helping us break all that down. And we'll have until October to continue working with this energy to change these trends, the culture, right? The culture that we can clearly all see. We don't have to talk about it. We know what it is that is not working. And how are we reinforcing these new cultures and things that we've seen over the last year just play out for us? And so we can start to see some movement and things of that nature more in November. But I think now we're going to start to take it more seriously and have the conversations to challenge those trends, those old trends. Okay. So new moons are a time to set new intentions, to plant new seeds. The sun and moon in Virgo rule manifestation. Anytime you have earth energy, it's always about manifesting in the physical, so something tangible, that's something you can touch. It's very practical and detailed. This will highlight our daily activities because Virgo rules the sixth house, and the sixth house rules over health, daily routine. And Pets. I always get so silly when I say that because I feel like it's so outside of what the other two are. But that's just what it is. Um, so this could be indicating that we're ready for something new, doing things differently, that we're ready for changes that we've been putting off or just didn't have the time for. We can be very organized and efficient at this time. It's also about healing and improving something. Uh, Virgos are the information processors. And so any kind of system that takes in information to make a decision, to use discernment, to think things through, to, the algorithms of something to get you from one place to another, to make a decision. That's kind of how I feel like Virgo operates. So how can you move ahead in a way that's better for you right now? Right now in this moment, with everything that's going on in the world, with everything that you've taken in at this point, what can you do right now to make your life better and move ahead? This also rules cleansing, feng shui, and clearing mental clutter, because it's also, Virgo is also ruled by Mercury, which is all about the mind, right, and thinking. And so I think this is a great time for that, because Virgo can be very critical. You're not good enough, you're not pretty enough, you're not popular enough, you're not mature enough, you're not healthy enough. I'm thinking about all the things that Virgo can think of, and how we can beat ourselves up mentally sometimes when we feel like things should be a certain way. And it's time to clean that up now. So I know that I've definitely been struggling with this. Like some moments I'll be like, "You're doing great, Keish, go girl." I was literally on my own live, posting comments, just like, celebrating the way that I was, like the things that I was like, "Oh, that was a really, really good thing. I liked that." And some people might see that as super vain. Here's the thing. I am really trying to manifest here. And so some of the things that you can be doing is taking yourself a bit more seriously. If you're having these negative thoughts, write the negative thoughts down and then reword them with healthy, loving, positive words, and then say them out loud every day, all day to yourself, and hang them up somewhere, decorate them, make it a vision board or just a creative board. It doesn't have to be, anything specific, but something, some way where you could see it every day, all the time, it as a reminder, and feng shui is kind of that same idea, except for it's with the things in your house. So having things placed in a way that brings in positivity. This is also a really great time to do your cleansing. So if you're into sage and any of those other things that people use to cleanse out their home, this will be a great time to just open up all the windows and do your little ritual at this new moon and set an intention with it. Again, be very intentional with this energy, because you really can bring into some positive energy. This is also a great time to clean and cleanse your stones, your crystals, all that stuff there. So there's that. Oops. Okay. Yeah, so clean that up so new, fresh energy can come in. And then we have Mars and Virgo. Mars and Virgo gets things done. It takes care of the daily things. You can maybe even feel energized to try new exercises, new nutritions, new eating habits, new exercise routines, new routines in general, like taking a different route to work if you work outside of your home. Or, again, just changing your daily routine and what you do on a regular basis. I know that has been huge here, especially with people preparing to go back back to school. I'm pretty sure a lot of that's happening where you're now preparing the kids. School's coming. You got to start going back to sleep at 8 so that you could be up early. That's definitely something we're practicing here, among a whole other things, because like we were off all year. So we don't have a routine. We didn't need one. So definitely trying to work with him on doing that, even though I'm not entirely sure I even care to send my son back to school. But again, it's still what time it is, right? It's about this time of the year and what people are normally doing. And even if we were to crack that, I still need to replace that energy with something else. And it should be healthy, right? It should be nutrition. It should be filling you with light, joy, love, and peace and education. So we have board time, outside time, obviously time to eat, and then just playtime, chill time, nap time. And I'm really trying to reinforce that like every single day. And that's been very interesting. I'd love to hear what other people are experiencing too, but that's definitely something that can come up here. This is also about your self-care. And so again, just really loving on yourself, but this is also the pampering self-care as well. With the pedicures, manicures, massages, getting your hair done, nails done, all that stuff. So then we have Uranus trine the sun and the moon. And Uranus is in Aquarius and the sun and moon is in Virgo. So this rules sudden opportunities with that Uranus energy, surprises, seeing things that you didn't see before. This can bring in new developments in technology, new ideas, unexpected changes, breakthroughs that set you free. When I first started my social detox and I actually like took it for real, this happened Monday, which is exactly when I believe this trine was too. This trine was happening. I literally had this whole awakening in my brain, like, like, oh my God, I know what to do now, right? So when they say that sudden revelation, like it really, as I was writing this up, I was like, oh my God, that is so real, because I really did, like, it was like, oh, I have so many other things to do. What was I thinking that I didn't have anything to do and I needed to be on social media? These are classic addiction thoughts, by the way. Yes, I am addicted to social media. I know that. I do. I know that I am. And so it was really funny, but I got down and to the nitty gritty and just gave my attention to another addiction. And so I started my podcast. If you're following me on IG, you've seen that I posted about it. This is the first time I'm talking about it on this platform. And so I have a few seasons over there. I've moved all my career stuff over there. And I'll start with this post as another series. So right now I have 4 episodes, literally, ongoing on the podcast. Obsessed much? Just a little bit. And what I realize is that, don't get me wrong, IG is great, right? And I know that everybody else has kind of been having these conversations, perhaps not out loud, but internally for a really long time about social media and how often we need to be on there. And then they have all the demands with the algorithms and how all this stuff is supposed to go in order to get seen and get yourself out there. I'm over it. I had a meltdown earlier in the beginning of this year about this. So I know people who follow me on IG here know exactly what I'm talking about. I've always had a problem with it. I have. I never liked it. I don't think that it's real, and I understand things don't grow overnight. That is not my issue with it. I've always felt something was missing, or something about it was just not right, and I could never put my finger on it. And so when I had this revelation, the idea is that I need to be connecting with real people first and foremost. So I'm doing a lot more things in my community, and I'm getting myself out there. I am going to use my son's platform, my son's school, as a platform to promote, but also to just meet with other moms. And so I'm planning a wine and mom's meltdown. Yep, I'm calling it a meltdown. We can melt down and talk about all the things that are not working for us. And I think it's crazy. And what could be better? And we're going to have some wine and do that. So I'm planning on doing that with a wine Way of Lyfe. And so stay tuned for that. I don't know if I'm going to actually post it on there, but I mean, I might do a post saying it, but like it's not going to be a live or anything like that. I am looking for homeschool teachers, and teachers. They don't just have to be homeschoolers, but I just love to pick their brain about how they're feeling about the school system. Like, I want to talk to people about how they feel about this over some wine. And so I'm working on finding people who are interested in having that conversation, and giving single moms, families, other mothers, parents who might have the same concerns as I do, some tips and tricks on how to deal with this time. I think we're all making it up as we go, and I feel like it would be really nice to have other people to hear what they're doing and what they have to say. So I'm working on that now. And I'm trying to build on my other platforms. So I'm putting all my career stuff on my LinkedIn profile and trying to connect and build over there. I am, I've been spending a lot more time over on Clubhouse and fixing that page up and trying to build connections over there. And then, yeah, so I mean, I can go on and on and on about this, but these were the revelations that I had. Doing more stuff behind the scenes. So perhaps on IG, some of the changes you could be seeing, and I don't think it's going to be official. I really don't know what I want to do right now. I'm just in the flow of this energy, and I'm going to continue to let it ride to see how I feel about it moving forward. But I am strongly being pushed to do things that are more like behind the scenes. So writing, I took a astrology short class on how to write horoscopes. And so I'll be working on career horoscopes. Obviously, careers are my thing. As much as I love this astrology and all that other stuff, I might eventually end up moving away from that and doing more career astrology blogs. And, I've had my book for a really long time that I both didn't want to do it and didn't have the time for it. Because I wrote it in a book. And so in order for me to write this book, that means I had to retype it all up. And that whole idea just really frustrated me. It annoyed me. And the thought about writing it twice made me very angry. But after I've done all the posts on social media, now I have everything in writing. So I'm just going to take all that stuff, copy it, and get the writing, get the setting up the book. I'm going to have some places where people can write to. It's not just going to be it's not even a reading book. It's really a career path guide using astrology. So you'll have some space where you can take down notes and information on how to get your birth chart, and how to find your career path on your own. And this will be the beginning stages of the learn your astrology on your own path. And I already have a lot of information set up and on my Patreon page for that. And it's more personal. It's not a class. It's not, it's just a bunch of astrology information in there where you can find your placements and learn and take notes in this book to learn more about your astrology. And I know people probably don't remember this, but I've also started the affirmations using astrology. I have one post up there, but I wanted to do a bunch more using the career astrology as well. So there'll be career affirmations of who you are, and your path and your purpose in this lifetime, which I think is more of a fun thing to do as opposed to, more than anything else. But I will be publishing those. And so I'll be doing more writing and publishing in the back end. And yeah, I feel like I went on a whole tangent here, but this is what is happening. And I, even though it is a tangent, I still feel like it's something that I hope everybody is considering doing. Even if that means, like I mentioned in my last live, that we get together in a group off of social media behind the scenes to talk about astrology and how that relates to what are some of the things that you can do and how are you facilitating that in your life, because I feel like social media is ruining that entire process. Again, I still don't have my finger on why or how I feel that way. I just think that there's something about it that's just not right. And so I'm going to stick to that. But to bring it back to the astrology, we're about to start to have a bunch of Pisces energy. So we have the Pisces full moon coming up at the end of this month. And we have the Pisces and Jupiter coming at the end of December. And that's going to be in Jupiter for the entire year of 2022. And everything that's happening from September, October, and November, September, October, November, and December is all going to be dedicated to what we're going to be working on for the next 2 years, because this is also happening in together with this new eclipse energy that's going to be coming in starting October for Scorpio and Taurus. And so, these new things, these new ideas that we're having about, again, changing the old trends to these more newer, healthier trends are going to be, whatever's coming up for you now is going to be playing out for the next 2 years. The next 2 years. And again, I'm going to go into that a little bit more in these October horoscopes for each sign. I'm not going to do a overall, but to put some context around it, Mercury is going retrograde at the end of this month, and it's in the sign of Libra, and that's a relationship sign. But Libra is ruled by Venus, and Venus also includes Taurus. And on the opposite end of Taurus is Scorpio. And again, that still leads to this two things. The idea about relationships are going to be heavily coming up strong, and the idea about money and what we value. Because we have a lot of Libra placements now. Right now we have Mercury in Libra. Venus is in Libra in its own sign of Libra. And then Libra season is at the end of this month. So everything that I'm saying might not be very specific to you, but in this way where if you've had any kind of revelations of something of this sort, detox so that you can get some of these, let go of what you've been doing on a regular normal basis so that you can allow something to come in so that you can get these new revelations. See what that is. Pay attention to that. Whatever comes up for you, just be in the moment with that, and really soak it in. Soak it in, and that's going to give you the keys, clues of what's coming up for you over the next 2 years. Okay, I really, really went on too much about that, but all right. So Venus is going to square Pluto at the same degree where Mercury stations retrograde. So this new moon is highlighting something we'll be working on until November. It's going to be around relationships. And I just explained why. I also feel like family is going to play a really big role in this. Nobody's really talking about that part, but because it's not Cancer season, so people might not see it that way, but Taurus rules family as well, so to speak, and small groups of people also. And, so I started a group with my family about practicing better relationship building tools and things to do, just experiences with them as well. Because I felt like, for me, I know everybody doesn't have family, and this might not be relative to you, but whoever you consider your family, it doesn't have to be family. I feel like this is going to be an important piece as well, because your family is your first line of defense. Even if we don't get along with them, or these things here, you have to find a family, a small group of people who who do you call on when you're not, who's your support system, whoever that is. If there's any kind of way you can gain some kind of support network, this is going to be, we're going to need it. We're going to need it. All right. Yeah. So Libra is always and forever about who you partner with, who you collaborate with, to ensure you're not giving away your power. With Pluto, this is going to be key. I also did in my live last Saturday talk a little bit more about this. So if you want to hear more about it, go back to that live and check it out. But this is all about relationships and power and control issues. So the balance of relationships could be off a little bit. So maybe there's a deeper understanding of what works for you and what doesn't in relationships. But Pluto's going to force you to apply new parts of yourself, or those new things, that new understanding, that deeper understanding that you have. That you perhaps haven't been implementing in some kind of way, and it's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to cause tension, power struggles. It's going to ask you, how are you valuing yourself? So when I was writing this, just another short little story, I was reflecting on. So when I started, oh my God, you guys, I wish you guys could be flies on the wall. I swear my life is a comedy show sometimes. And so when I started this group with my family, you can't make this shit up. So my brother's the only guy in the family. Poor thing. Obviously, aside from my dad and my two sons. And so naturally, for me, I'm doing this with all the oldest because I feel like we're more mature. We've gotten over some things enough that we have something sturdy, right? I know that if my brother or any one of my two sisters are pissing me off, I can go to them and say, don't do that, and it won't be any drama. But then we have the two younger ones, which are Shakima and Isaki. Shakima is what, 21, maybe 22 now. And Nyla just graduated high school. I'm not saying that they shouldn't be a part of the conversation for any other reason aside from the fact that I don't think they're mature enough, right? So no negativity. This just is a personal thought in my mind. I have a 21-year-old. I know how he thinks, even though girls are a lot more mature. What I'm also learning is that there's been a pattern in my family. And so it all, of course, starts with me. I'm the eldest girl. Yay, me. So I did really good job at preventing the pregnancy in the family from having babies at a young age, which I'm still super proud of, by the way, although I wish my sisters would have babies already. None of them have kids, right? And I didn't do well with the other piece, which was mending the relationships in such a way where it leaves space for us to grow together. In fact, I am only just realizing over the last few years that it was even an issue because we are so separated in age. It's really hard, right? And so I just never addressed it. Not to mention, with all my sisters, what I noticed what happened, the disconnect came in by way of I grew up, and once you kind of, so I was having, let me just tell the story. So I had this conversation with my sister about her and one of my sisters aren't getting along, and it's really bad. It's not good. And so what I explained to her was, she knows that I have been the one in the family who has always been the black sheep, the troublemaker. Anything you can think of that a person can go through, it was me. So I've had fights with all my sisters at this point. But the unfortunate, sad story is that the sister underneath me, Shaquaria, and we got into a fist fight. I thought she was being disrespectful. She wasn't listening. I wasn't the same person then. Please don't judge me. And I knocked her the fuck out. And in the moment, I knew that I wasn't doing it to be as it may have come off. But after the years had passed and I really had a lot more time to think about this process and watching her go through that with Isaki. And again, I'm seeing the pattern in the family. And now Isaki's going through that with Shakima. What I'm seeing, this is very Venus Pluto. It's a power struggle and imbalance and in the relationship as she's maturing, she's growing up, she's realizing that she has a responsibility that the younger ones just have, they haven't had that moment yet. And so it's really hard for them to understand. So it always comes off in a way where she switched up, when people say that about you, oh, she switched up, she thinks she's the shit or whatever because she got A, B, and C. She might perhaps be doing good in her life. And this kind of thing here. And so what I was telling my sister was like, it absolutely has nothing to do with that. It's just when you grow up, the people who are not ready to continue on that journey with you are always going to see this in a negative way, and there's going to be some discord. But the truth is that you've just matured and they are not meant to come with you any further on your new journey. Right. And isn't that so Virgo season, right? It's time to let go of something that doesn't work for you. Now, does that mean that you're never going to speak to those people again? It doesn't have to be. I've had people come back to me years, on the spiritual journey, like, yo, I know what you're talking about now. And, we may not have been friends, but we got some closure, right? And I felt like this was a perfect story to describe what kind of things could be coming up with this energy. And my sister was she heard me, she's very mature. I love her. She's a Taurus, so naturally, she's so calm and collected. And she's like, you know what? You're absolutely right. And it felt really good to have that conversation with her. I hope that that's a conversation that's going to close and end that cycle, that pattern in my family, which I think this Shaquaria did a good job because she's obviously went through it with me too, right? So she knew she knew when she went into this. I remember having this conversation with her. And I didn't tell her that this is a reflection of her and I, but I am almost 90% positive that she reflected quite heavily on the situation. And I'm pretty sure that she had to think about, whether she's going to go about it the same way or do it differently as well. And so I do feel like that cycle is going to close out. Fingers crossed. It won't be happening between the other two. But it just, this is something that could definitely become, that can be a way to view this power struggle. And it doesn't even have to be between people. Remember, Pluto is in Capricorn, so we're seeing this a lot as well when it comes to work and people leaving work, right? And people are tired of being treated like shit and they work their asses off, right? And so I think we're going to see a lot more of it and people not wanting to deal with it. And they're going to take control of their life and a lot of people are going to start their own businesses or just get other jobs. Okay, I went on a tangent with that too. But anyway, I hope that's helpful. Yeah. Okay. So Libra wants to be fair. Pluto doesn't care about fairness. It's going to make an executive decision. So Mercury is going to come in. So remember, Mercury's in Libra. Oh, actually, it's not yet. Mercury will enter Libra on the 10th. And so Mercury's going to come in to help us talk things through. You know how I feel about this idea about this male and female energy. If we could just leave women and men out of the conversation and just hear my perspective from just the energetic perspective, whether we want to believe it or not, we have way more energy being implemented in our life and society right now on a pretty major scale. And so I feel like what Libra obviously is a female energy, and I see Pluto and Capricorn as the male energy. And what I feel like what we're lacking and have lacked over the years with this socialism and fighting for our rights and marching, asking. That's the key word here. We're asking for permission to be who we are, and it absolutely should not be that way. And Pluto and Capricorn is damn well going to make us think about that, right? And so from the male perspective, from the male energetic perspective, now people are asking questions. If you go to a job, it's not just get a job to get by. It's like, what am I getting out of this? Do I get that hybrid schedule? How much are you going to pay me? What upfront do you need with me? Whereas in the more female energy, again, we was just taking it and accepting it, right? That's very Libra-esque. Libras can be people pleasers, making sure that everybody's taking care of everybody else but ourselves and not being mindful of ourselves. And I think what we're learning here is that we've always said, we've always been aware that you can't take care of anybody if you're not taking care of yourself, but we have not actually implemented that. And I think that's what we're seeing now. People are like, no, I got to do me first, and I don't feel good here. I don't feel like this is a healthy situation. I don't feel right. And so I'm not going to do it unless I know 110% sure that I'm getting out of this what I need to get out of it. That's going to be healthy. That's going to be balanced. And it's going to be my, what is it that I truly want? And so, yeah, I feel like this is discernment, which is very Capricorn. Actually, it's very Earth energy in general, but discernment really is a Virgo word. This is about having boundaries in relationships, right? We're not just going to be in relationships because we're lonely and needy and want, these are the things that I want, but what do you need? Right? So we're asking more serious questions and putting our boundaries up, building tools and exercises, taking time to think things through and not rushing into things, having clear goals, holding folks accountable, being consistent, checking in on how you're going to execute the goal, who's responsible for what, and, understanding that is a culture that we are not implementing, even though we say we know these things, right? And that's because they're not being taught to us at all, right? This isn't me blaming anybody or saying that anybody's not doing these things for any specific reasons, but they're certainly not holding us accountable. They are influencing this culture of lack and misguided and miseducated. All these things here that I know we are all very aware of, right? We heard it all before, right? And just we're not like people. I feel like people are waking up to like, yeah, I know that, but like, what are we gonna do now? Or even it could be more like, yeah, I know that, but I don't know how. What do I have to do? And taking action on that, learning how to relate with one another. I've been talking about this for a while. I have a few lives on this conversation. But one of the Ask Astrologer things that I did, I had this lady on there talking about how to relate in business partnerships and the tools and things that are important to that. So if you really want to know more about that, check that out. I just feel like that's going to be super, super, super emphasized now. That is the goal. And it's not going to be easy, going back to the tension, the power struggles, it being uncomfortable, but we value ourselves now. And when you value yourself, you absolutely positively do not let things in that are not bringing you value. And that's that. And that's that more male energy. When I think about this and I break it down, I think about the dad who knows his little girl's about to go out on a date, and he's telling her, if he does A, B, and C, he don't love you. He just want that thing, right? This is what I'm thinking about, that absolute hardcore no. And we're not saying yes because our feelings and our emotions, giving people chances and wanting to be open, and all of those things are very valid and very valuable. I still feel like there is a level of discernment that needs to be taken into consideration that we absolutely don't do that. And in the long run, what we are seeing now is that hasn't worked for us. And so now we have to incorporate those things. And in order to do that, you're going to have to get real strong in saying no, but not rudely. This is not about being rude or bashing or disrespect. None of that, but if we don't hold people accountable for the things that they are not good at and where they need to learn and do better, we are going to continue this culture, these trends of ignorance, disrespect, lack of, the communication with the family, our family values, is all gone. And do we really still want that? most of most of you know I've probably been on here way too long just talking. And you know what? It's okay. I'm trying to be mindful. I am. I'm almost done, family. I swear. Um, you know, I just feel like we shouldn't have to chase business. Business should come to us, right? If we're doing all the right things, we're taking the classes, we're learning how to adapt to the algorithm, we're doing the correct, interesting, intriguing posts, where we're doing everything we're supposed to be doing. Yes, it's going to take time. I get that part. But there should still be more business for small businesses than I feel like I see today. Period. And I'm going to give a small short story just to give an example, because I'm really proud of this partnership that I have, because it's proven to me that I'm not crazy. And so I've talked about Tiara from A Day of Royalty before. And I'm just going to tell you right now, she reached out to me for a business opportunity. I'm going to say that again. She reached out to me for a business opportunity. She laid down the law. She said what she expected, what she wanted, and she gave me free rein to choose whether or not I wanted to be a part of that. Just has not let me down yet. She shows up. I do not have to call her, chase her, remind her. None of that. And she follows up. Every time we do a live, she's like, all right, pros and cons. What did we do? What didn't we do well? What do we need to do better? What did we do well? And we revel in that. We congratulate each other for that. I'm just going to cut a clip of that right there and keep replaying that, because that shit is fucking powerful. And that's exactly what it should look like. When somebody wants something, they go get it. They're not shy. They don't hesitate. They do. They make moves. They hold themselves accountable as well as the other party. Right? This is real simple math, family. And she's my proof that I'm not crazy. If people want something, they come and get it. Period. Anything else that they're not doing, there's something else going on. Whether it's doubt, even if it's not real, it doesn't matter. Something is not working. And I'm going to leave that alone. But I meant that, like, from my whole heart, And anyway. So Venus will trine Jupiter, which is, thank God this is coming in, because this rules luck, abundance, optimism in relationships, money, beauty, and love. This can bring up legal cases, especially on the world stage. But Venus ruling Libra is about judge, lawyers, and then Jupiter is the high courts, right? This is like federal courts. And so that's why I feel like on the world stage, I know that there was a few cases, legal cases, that I remembered hearing about, especially with the Bitcoin and stuff. So I haven't really been following those things, but I can imagine perhaps some of those things will come up. But on a personal level, this can be you leaning on your support system, seeing friends, and being open to situations, even if it's not what you want. We're going to move ahead with these situations with optimism. And then we have the Grand Air Trine, which rules luck, positivity, and optimism. So ideas around equality for humanity, the new developments and technology, especially for the food supply chain. Hopefully, fingers crossed, on a global level, we could probably see some stuff coming out about that. On a personal level, a shift of mindset, more grown-up conversations, especially for these new ideas. We're going to reassess them and have more win-win situations, right? I see that the possibility of that coming in because we really have been in retrograde season since May, June, July, August, September, October, even with that Mercury energy. But I think in October, all the outer planets that have been in retrograde will be going direct. I'm going to talk more about this um, in the October horoscopes. And what we're going to see is a lot of this dead, dense energy start to pick up on a pretty major scale, especially in November when Mercury goes direct. And we'll have a window of all direct until Venus goes retrograde at the end of November. But that's only going to be that one planet. So, it's not going to be as heavy as all the other stuff, but we'll definitely be revisiting all this stuff we're talking about now with that Venus energy going retrograde. So anything that's coming up now, just keep that momentum going, And last but not least, Neptune is going to opposite the sun and moon in Virgo. And so Neptune is in Pisces. It's been in Pisces in its own sign for quite some time now. It rules details. Virgo rules details, categorizing things. And Neptune wants to dissolve all of that. Neptune wants more spiritual devotion and selfless service. The more we help others, the better the humanity. And Virgo is discernment and discrimination. And discrimination can be seen in a few different ways, but the way I'm going to talk about it, because it's in relation to work, is just going back to what I was saying about people leaving their job because there is no what is the word I'm looking for? Diversity at all. We all know that, right? It's terrible. We can even see more topics like this coming up. I think with Neptune and Pisces and opposite the sun and moon in Virgo is going to be more about COVID and how people are moving forward or not, right? Especially in the workplace. I know they said something about you can't go to work if you don't have the shot. There's a lot of talk going on about that. I'm pretty sure we're going to see more of it. But again, I think if we're forced into that, people are going to leave. If they're going to be forced to make a decision, people are going to leave. Neptune is divinity, source, oneness, and we need to get back to that. So even this, I feel like I should do another live on and talk about that a lot deeper, because Neptune is going to continue to be in its own sign for a few more years, if I'm not mistaken. And remember, Jupiter's going into Pisces in the end of December. And it's going to be there for a whole year now. Pisces also rules health, hospitals, and again, the on the other side of that, the higher vibration of Neptune and Pisces is that oneness, divinity, source, and being more spiritual. I don't know, man. I don't like this. I really, 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 really don't like this energy, family. I don't think it's going to be what we, I want to be the optimist here and be like, they're going to give up and let it go. And I'm going to be talking more about this when I do the live about the milk crate challenge and with the perspective that they had on this. I thought it's very interesting, and that we really need to be thinking about this. As much as I don't want to give this conversation any energy, for the sake of knowing what decisions to make in relation to the astrology, we really need to be paying attention to this family. And so I'm going to get off here because I feel like I've been running my jaws for a while now. And I know y'all got stuff to do. But thank you so much, as always, for your time and energy. I love and appreciate y'all so, so much. And I hope that this information is helpful and you're learning something from it. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I will be watching the live again. I'm going to be in my own DMs like, what? Shut up, girl. But I will be in there responding and stuff too. So that'll be another way to communicate with me until I get my whole life together. I gotta let this end. Whatever this is with this whole thing, I'm just gonna let it go. I'm gonna go through with it and see where it leads me. But I am always here. Okay, you have all my information to contact me, to ask questions. Please don't hesitate to do so, family. Like, share, subscribe, share, like. All right, family. Peace.
My name is Kheisha. I'm the owner of A Way of Lyfe. I've been a career and life coach for 8 years and an astrologer for 3. Our mission is to help people take control of their career future, whether to start a business or retirement, using astrology, strategies, and planning. Our vision is to provide a really clear idea of who you are, what you want, where you're going, and how to get there by making it a way of life.